Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. This is Tiffany from Tiffy Butter. So today I want to do a very quick flip through video. So I'm going to flip through this insert. This one is the Tokyo Station Edition Traveler's Notebook insert, standard size. I didn't really finish it because, as you can see, the binding is totally damaged, just because I have added too many watercolor papers. So that was the main reason that I accidentally damaged the binding. So I just leave a couple more pages blank at the end, and I decided to move on to my current insert, which is a handmade insert, which I will show you in a minute after the flip through. So yeah, I just want to do a kind of like a catch-up video on this insert because a lot of you guys showed your support and love for my watercolor practice painting in this insert. So I decided to do a complete flip through and talk about how I finished the last couple pages and so on. And I just want to get it started from the beginning. So that's the first entry is about rose study. So I just painted the rose and talk about roses and yeah, and things like that. So this is my first landscape painting practice in this insert. That was, I guess I started this insert from the 1st March because this is the 2nd March. So I started on the 1st March and I finished probably the 28 or 30. So I used 1 month to finish this insert, which I am very proud of myself. But anyway, let's move on. So this is a landscape painting. I've shown this, or I've shown this before. I will link my setup video in the corner here. So if you are interested to take a look, just please feel free to click the video. So this is another landscape painting. This is a French village inspired painting, and this is another flower study. I love to use labels and wash seals, and I like to sketch watercolor painting just a little bit in the corner, just like light sketches. So this is another inspired painting. I will list all the artists or Instagram or YouTube channels that inspired me to paint or this drawing. I will all link them down below. So if you are interested, take a look of their YouTube channel. So this is another tree and flowers, and this is the cloud and sea study, and this is the wave study. So this is another camping landscape study, painting study. This is another lake and the grasses, the sky. This is a house, a little house by the sea. I think I pretty much left right here in my last video. So this is the first one that you haven't seen. Probably you've seen them on my Instagram, which I will also link it down below. And yeah, this is just a little sketch or illustration about a house by the sea, and I like to practice the sky and the sea and the mountain on that day. So I try to find a reference picture on Instagram. I will link this picture down below, the Instagram account down below. So if you want to practice landscape or flowers or anything that you want to draw, I highly recommend that you find a reference picture. So you can just mimic that picture and paint it in your way. In that case, you can practice your watercolor skill, and the second, practice how to transfer or mimic a real landscape or real image to your illustration. I found out that's pretty hard, especially for me because I'm self-taught, so I don't really have any idea about how to transfer photos to a painting. So yeah, I've been practicing on that for a while right now. I mean 2 months. So I'm still on the way. I'm still practicing every single day. I hope I have a little bit improvement every single day. Anyway, I like to use paper collage if there is any blank spaces. I don't like white spaces. I always have to add some colors and backgrounds and collage and things like that. So I just like colorful stuff, things in my notebook. So this is another cloud practice or cloud study. So apparently this cloud is the thunder clouds. So it's not the normal clouds. That's why you can see is a little bit darker than the usual clouds. And I've jotted down some notes, what I am satisfied with or what I think I need to improve. So I jot it all down on the side, and I jot down some notes here and there. And this is another landscape painting inspired by Lindsay. I will also link it down below. I don't quite like how it turns out, but I like how colorful it is, but I don't like the twist. It gets so dark at the end. So next time I need to just paint the first layer. I have to paint really light colors, and then I can build up the color. So yeah, that's what I need to focus on next time. So yeah, like I said, you just practice every single day. You always can find some mistakes. You always can find something that you are satisfied with. So keep on that, keep practicing. Eventually you will get to the point that you satisfy, or get to the point that you like yourself to be. So yeah, a little bit journal here and there. I don't like this painting at all, but in my previous video I mentioned it. I don't charge them. I just still put them in my journal. So next time I know that what I can improve. So in this painting, I don't like the trees at all. I don't like how the cabin turns out. It looks like cartoon. I don't know why. because I didn't do well on the shadowing and highlighting and things like that. I didn't turn it into a real painting because it was inspired by a photo. That's what I meant before. I'm still practicing how to turn a real image, like a real photo, to a painting. So that's what I'm struggling right now, but I just keep practicing. So yeah, I still tuck it in here. And this is a galaxy practice. So I like this galaxy. I like this one especially. I like how different layers applied on this painting, how the white stars, and I like this color collage in here. And I use some galaxy theme washi tape, and I tuck a star in here, and some similar color washi tape to decorate the page. And I also painted at the background. So yeah, just make it more interesting to look at. So the next page is another waves practice. I like this one. It was inspired by Rosie's sketchbook. I will link it down below. And I also tuck in some labels that I have been saved for a long time. So I finally tucked them in here. So for this waves practice, I quite like how I do the whitish part, and I also do some deeper color part of the wave. But this one thing that I don't really like is the shape of the wave. It just looks like it doesn't look like normal wave. It doesn't look like natural wave. It looks like a cotton candy wave. I don't know. So yeah, maybe so next time I have to practice on this as well. So yeah, I just journal about it a little bit. So the next one is another landscape. Was inspired by Paint with David. I highly recommend him if you are a watercolor beginner, because he has tons of real-time videos. That's all I need. I need real-time videos a lot, because I found, there's tons of great artists on YouTube, and they share their tutorials on things like that, but their videos are always speed up. For me, it was quite hard to catch up, especially when you have to watch the video and while you paint. Of course, you can make the speed like slower playing on YouTube, but still I prefer a real-time painting. That's why I like his channel so much. And this one, this painting is another mimic painting of his. I quite like how it turns out. Let me give you a closer look. So I like the roof, I like different colors as the bushes, and I like the road and everything. Yeah, I quite like this one. So I will link his video down below. Make sure you check him out. And next one is another some washi tape. Another sea or landscape or waves painting. It was inspired by Maria, because I am one of her Patreon subscriber. So I get to see the real-time painting. It always took her like 1 hour or 2 hours for one painting, so it was quite hard for me. So of course I didn't like 100% copy her work, because that's impossible. She is amazing, but I like how it turns out. I applied some of the, so this is the tool that I use for this painting, is the masking fluid. So this one just give me a lot of highlights here and there, so I don't need to really leave the white spaces intentionally, so I can just draw it without worry about it. And it turns out good. It was my first time, so I don't really catch the skill. I quite like this one, how it turns out. I like the color, I like little green, turquoise colors, and I like deeper color further down. And yeah, I like how it changed, the color change. So as always, a little bit journal here and there. So this one is my last painting in this insert. It was a real landscape insert. I will link the picture here. So as you can see, my husband quite liked this one, because he said that this painting totally reminds him of the picture of the landscape. So I'm pretty proud of myself. So I ended up with this painting. This is my last painting in this insert, and yeah, I feel good about it. And I would like to finish this insert, but it just, as you can see, the binding is totally ripped off and everything, so I don't want to give it more pressure, and I don't want to damage it a lot more later after adding more papers, watercolor papers in here. So I love this insert so much. Probably this is my favorite insert so far. And yeah, so I'm gonna show you what I have right now, what I'm currently using right now. So this is the olive edition. From a camera you think that's brown, no, that's the olive. And this is the insert that I'm using. I already took it off. I don't know why. Oh yeah, because I just draw in the morning. So everything else remained the same. I still have the craft folder. I still have the fabric pouch that I got off Etsy. I will link it down below. A lot of people have asked me where I get this pouch. I will link the Etsy shop down below. But if you just type this, let me give you a close look. Yeah, if you just type this is the Foruoff. I don't know how to pronounce this one. And then Truffles Factory fabric insert or something on Etsy. You probably can find a couple of the Etsy shop are selling those. But anyway, let's focus on my insert. So this is a handmade insert. I just take out the staples on the binding, and I remake the insert by myself. I keep the cover, I keep the first page, and the rest of the page are from different sources. So the first up is, okay, so this is the first page that I did, I guess 2 days ago. I still practice flowers. I quite like this page. I'm really satisfied with this page as my first page. And I journal a little bit, and of course I decorated a little bit. So this is just a normal paper from the Traveler's Notebook, and this is actually a watercolor paper that I got. I guess this one is the arches cover or something. Yeah, it was pretty big. It was pretty big. I bet it's like 1 meters by 1 meters, and it's like almost $7 Canadian dollars. So I just cut it in size. I have small pieces, so I also tuck it in here in this notebook. So yeah, this is watercolor paper, and this also another watercolor paper. I did this painting yesterday. I love it so much. I really like it. It was inspired by Paint with David as well. He is amazing. Thank you so much. And this is a vintage ledger paper. And this is another company paper and more watercolor paper in here. So for those watercolor paper, of course, I'm going to do watercolor paintings on it. So for those, I can do paper collage, I can journal just like this one. So at the same time, I can journal while I can do watercolor practice, and I don't need to add more paper inside my notebook, so I won't damage my binding. That's what I'm looking for with this notebook. That's why I make this notebook by myself. And more watercolor insert and more grid pages, ledger. So this is pretty much the center of the insert because I know it will be bulky, so I don't want to add too many pages in here. So yeah, more watercolor paper, different sizes. So that is pretty much it. So I made this notebook just for myself to journal and do watercolor painting practice. And I think this is pretty much what I want for this notebook. And I'm going to just tuck it in here. I find the center part, and yeah, I attached with the zipper pouch. And I also have the bookmark in here, and I found the elastic, and I just slide them all in. So voila, that's it. I usually put the bookmark at the center. Oh no, one must go to this way, so I left right here, so I leave the bookmark right here. So yeah, that's what I have currently in my Traveler's Notebook Olive Edition. It's a new insert. I hope you like it. But yeah, it's just a really quick catch-up video on my old insert and how I start a new one. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for stopping by. This is Tiffany. I will see you in my next video soon. Bye bye.